Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. An awful lot of people have asked me, what do I think about this business with Turki Alalshikh and Dana White? And you've probably read about it. You know, they're going to start some sort of, I don't know what the hell it's called, some sort of league or something like that. It's very, very early days. We don't really know the full details. But what do I think about it? Well, I don't really have anything to add yet, other than to what I've said previously. Look, if you have any kind of capitalistic business model, you need checks and balances. Otherwise, it becomes a monopoly. Okay, and in other words, all the power is concentrated to a very, very tiny fraction of a percent of people at the top. Okay, now the UFC model, up to now anyway, thankfully has not existed in boxing, because it is essentially an in-house thing. PBC tried to create this, I don't know, 8 years ago, whatever it was. They had a little war chest of $500 million. They were trying to buy up airtime. They were signing up God knows how many fighters. And then they kind of run out of money. Now they have the Amazon Prime platform, but it didn't work out. Thankfully, it didn't work out, because I think this is a horrendous model. There's a reason why the United States, which is the most capitalist-loving country in the world, it has a monopolies commission. You can't be part of a monopoly over there. You can in Britain. I mean, but then Britain is, unfortunately, we're now at the stage, and have been for the last 40 years since neoliberalism took over, where we're basically, you know, America's bitch. But if you want that type of, you know, capitalist system, you've got to have a yin and a yang. You know, the pendulum's got to be able to swing both ways. You can't have something that's locked in. Otherwise, it just becomes a sort of totalitarian model. And that is essentially what the UFC is. Now, I've never met Dana White. I don't know anything about him other than what I've read. But I was watching various videos about this subject today. And Paulie Malignaggi on Paulie TV. I mean, I've always thought I don't agree with him on everything, but I like Malignaggi. I think he says what he thinks, and he's a pretty honest, transparent guy. And I think he's an excellent pundit, an excellent, you know, commentator. He does understand boxing. He knows boxing. And he described Dana White as a pig. He said he underpays fighters vastly. He gives them a few crumbs off the banquet table. He said that White is, you know, he licks your ass, and then the next second he's sticking a knife in your back, metaphorically speaking. And he said, look, Paulie was saying, you know, he really rates what Turkey's doing highly, but he shouldn't be jumping into bed with this Dana White. And it doesn't surprise me that that Paulie has this view, because I've heard this from lots of other people. MMA fighters, you know, I've watched interviews, I've read things from MMA fighters. They don't like the guy. He is not trustworthy. He isn't, and he will squeeze the rag dry, you know. And of course, it's not just sweat that's coming out of that rag; it's blood sometimes. So I think that, okay, Turki Alalshikh is nobody's fool, and he's got the sort of money that would. Well, he's got access to the sort of money that even someone like Dana White, it puts even him in the shade. So I'm not saying he's a fool, and he won't let people take liberties with him. But doing business with Dana White, I don't want Dana White in boxing. I don't like what he represents. I've never met him, but I don't imagine he's a particularly nice person. And anyone that becomes that wealthy, that powerful, through the blood, sweat and tears of others, and only gives them a few dregs in return, because essentially, you know, that he's essentially a vulture capitalist. You've got someone who's working as a plumber or an electrician, and suddenly they get waved a little carrot, and they're like, yeah, I'll go for that. And it's more money than they can earn doing their regular job. Everyone says, well, let them get on with it. Yeah, and then, of course, the vast majority of the pie still goes to the people at the top, you know, to the puppet masters. And then suddenly the ball starts rolling, and the person in question becomes a bigger and a bigger valuable commodity, but because they're locked into this set contract, right, you're fighting so-and-so on this date and you're getting paid this. Well, I don't like that. Yeah, well, you've got a contract. You have to do it because you can't go anywhere else. That's restraint of trade to me, absolute restraint of trade. So although this is early days with White and Turki Alalshikh and their whole deal, all right, we'll have to watch it, see how it pans out. But like I say, I don't want White in boxing. I don't like the guy. He represents to me everything that's vile about a capitalist system. He isn't a venture capitalist. He's a vulture capitalist. And anyone who gets to be that wealthy, you've got to ask, when they say, well, I got there, I created my wealth through hard work, the immediate question should be, whose hard work? Yours or people that you have essentially picked up and exploited? So, yeah, those are my thoughts, but we'll see how it goes. And if I've got any other thoughts, I'll share them with you. I mean, what do you think? Leave your comments below. You may completely disagree with me. That's fine. You may absolutely agree with me. Again, fine. But let me know your opinions. And, yeah, thank you very much for listening. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Do all that good stuff. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. And I'll catch you later. Bye for now.